We are all your servants. We trust in your mercy and love. We trust also in your guidance. Direct the meetings of this council of the North College Hill to make good decisions for all the people who live in our city. Give all the members of this council wisdom and insight to know what is best for our city. Help us to be fair and just in all of our decisions. Bless us all to do the very best we can with your help and guidance. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Begin the meeting. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. We are here on a Monday, March 6th at 7 p.m. for the North College Hill City Council meeting. Before you have your packet of information.
Madam President,
Ma'am, sir,
we need to do roll call.
we need to do roll call. See? I'm messing up already. Thank you for keeping me in line.
Dukestein, DeWong,
Here.
Underwood,
Here.
Zorb,
Here.
Alexander,
Here.
Blythe,
Here.
Anderson.
Here. I did get a text from Ms. Dukestein stating that she will more than likely be here, but she had a conflict and she will be late.
Ms. President,
Ms.
does that
Dewalt.
need a motion?
Mr. President, Madam President,
Ms. Anderson?
do we want to do one just in case?
Here's my hesitation. If we excuse her, then she can't vote.
Okay, no motion. I rescind.
Got it.
Is that accurate, Mr. Dieters?
Correct.
So how about if we wait? Mr. Dieters, you tell us how to, sorry, I'm guessing.
You could just, when she's here, if she's here for the portion of the meeting that would require a vote, she could vote. She just would be considered to be not
Could you-
present at the start, and then the minutes would have to reflect when she arrived.
Could you speak into your mic?
Did you hear me?
I did, but people in TV land didn't.
Okay. As long as the minutes would reflect at the moment she would arrive, then she'd be considered present at that moment. And then if she was here when a vote was called, once she arrived, she's permitted to vote.
Okay. So if by some chance she does not show up, then we'll excuse her later on. Is council okay with that plan?
Yes.
Sounds good to me.
All right.
Madam President,
Ms. Dewalt.
I am working on documentation that was added to the agenda. There's one more on the copier that, that will be coming down the road, but if somebody could pull that off the copier while we're at this little mini break, I'd appreciate it.
What do you mean?
All right, everyone. We have a copy of the agenda in front of you.
Madam President,
Ms. Dewalt.
I make a motion to accept the agenda.
Madam President,
Ms. Anderson.
I'll second that motion.
Mr. Hedger, we have a motion on the floor to accept the agenda from Ms. Dewald and a second from Ms. Anderson. Please call the roll.
DeWong,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorb,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion pass 6-0.
Thank you. Also in your packets this evening, we have a copy of the minutes from council meeting February 21st and a February Mayor's Court report.
Madam President,
Ms. Dewald.
I move to adopt the minutes from the March, wait a minute,
February?
February 21st meeting.
Madam President,
Ms. Underwood?
I'll second that.
Mr. Hedger, we have a motion on the floor to accept the minutes from council meeting February 21st, 2023. The motion was from Ms. Dewald and a second from Ms. Underwood. Could you please call the roll?
DeWald,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorb,
Yes,
Alexander,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed 6-0.
thank you. Do we have any communication this evening?
Yes, Madam President. I did provide council with the February monthly mayor's court report, and then there was also two resident correspondence emails that we received, one from a Rashonda Joyner and the other from a Benjamin Torrey. And the contents of the email describe the residents' issues. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Hedger. Next, we have a council committee reports. First up is City and Community Development and Recreation.
Thank you, Madam President. We have not met since our last meeting. Our next meeting is next week here in council chambers, March 13th at 6:30.
Thank you. Next is Budget and Finance. Ms. Dukestein is not here. I'm trying to remember.
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. Anderson.
I don't believe we've met since our last meeting.
Madam President, I believe there was a special meeting.
Gotcha, okay.
We did. We had a special meeting, and I believe we immediately went into executive session, so there's not anything to report publicly.
The next meeting is March 13th at 7:30 here in council chambers.
Thank you. Next up will be Rules and Public Policy.
Thank you, Madam President. We met on Monday, February 27th at 6:30 PM. We actually spent some time going through the beginning of the council rules. It is our intention to go through all of the rules to kind of review them, update them, change them when necessary. We also reviewed some of the charter as well. Once we get that done, we plan to have a committee of the whole to vote on the changes to the council rules. And that was pretty much all that we did. Our next meeting will be the last Monday in March, which is March 27th at 6:30.
And Public Safety?
Thank you, Madam President. We met on February 27th at 7:30 PM. There were no police or fire updates. We did pass around a copy, though, of the FOP agreement between the City of North College Hill and the police department. We didn't have an opportunity to really review it at that time. We talked about street signs and that not all of the street signs were consistent, the same size. So we are going to follow up with regard to the street signs. And we also talked a lot about traffic calming. And we're also going to follow up with the mayor and the city manager about how much more a street humps will cost and how quickly or how soon we can get those deployed. That is about all we talked about. Our next meeting will be Monday, March 27th at 7:30 p.m.
Thank you, Ms. Underwood. And do we have any ad hoc reports this evening?
Madam President,
Ms. Dewald?
again, I'd like to take an interruption. I have the legislation that was on the agenda today. If you could help me pass them down. So it's two different pieces.
Do I take one?
Take one
Thank
of
you.
each.
Pardon me, folks.
Thank you, Ms. Dewald. I do have an ad hoc report. It is from the Tree Commission. I just wanted to give you all a heads up, when we get to new business, I will be making a motion for the Christmas tree. All right, next up, we have administrative reports. Madam Mayor?
Thank you, Madam President. Can you hear me? I just had a couple things. First, I wanted to touch on the, I think Mr. Hedger mentioned it in his communication. I do know that that email that came from Mr. Benjamin Torrey, he lives on South Ridge, and I know that it's a lot of conversation that goes on in the safety committee about speed humps. So I'm not going to assume, I'm sure that he is asking or requesting that a speed hump be put on South Ridge. I don't know if that's something that Ms. Underwood, if you wanted to discuss that in your committee. I know there are a lot of citizens who wish to have them, so that is a straight through street to get to South. You have to go down South Ridge to get to multiple other streets, just like Sundale. So I don't know if you want to discuss that there. Another thing, I did receive a quote a few weeks back, and I do apologize, I forgot to mention this. We had looked into the beautification of the islands on Hamilton and on Galbraith, so we did get a quote to do all of those small islands and the major ones on the main street. I believe it was like $43,000, the lower one that came in, and that's replacing everything and adding trees and so forth. So just to, put that out there, that was one of the, I believe, the lower ones that we had to come in. Golly, I forgot the mayor's court. I talked to Ms. Toll the other day, and she is up $14,000 from last year in her collection. So I think that's pretty good, whatever tactic she's using or whatever she's doing to get that department organized. So she's up $14,000 from last year. And finally, I would like to officially welcome Ms. Jennifer Eakey, our new city administrator. It's been a long, rough few months, but she came in, dove right in, and it's been a week now, her 1 week, and I'm sure she's seen and heard a lot. And so I'll just welcome her. She comes with a lot of experience, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. And on that note, our next up is the city administrator.
Thank you, Madam President. Sir, is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Well, I want to thank all of you for the very warm welcome you gave me at the last council meeting, even though I was watching on TV. I did appreciate your kind comments, and I'm very happy to be here. I'm very much looking forward to serving the city as your new administrator, and I will be reaching out to each of you individually to set up one-on-one meetings so that we can get better acquainted and I can understand your goals and priorities for the city. So look for an email from me so we can get those set over the next 30 days or so. I wanted to remind you about two things that I've sent over the past week. One was just today. There's an opportunity for some elected officials training. I sent you an email on it. If you are interested in participating in that, I will be happy to make your reservations for you and send you the Zoom link. Just let me know. But I have to have them in by, I think it's about noon tomorrow. So if you could let me know tonight or first thing in the morning, that would be wonderful. We also put a notification from the Board of Elections memo in your inbox. So if you haven't checked your mailbox here yet, please do that to make sure you get your mail in a timely fashion. I've got just a couple of things, just because this is my 6th day on the job, so trial by fire, which has been wonderful. But last week was a busy week, as I know you all know. So the first thing I want to touch on is that Amber Alert that originated out of North College Hill. And you probably saw the social media on that.
I'm not sure your mic's on. Can you
Is it? Can you hear me now?
Pull it down.
can you give it a little tap?
Better?
Yeah.
I hear it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Anyway, we had the Amber Alert last week, but it made statewide and national news. The officers put in countless hours to ensure the safe return of a critically endangered 2-year-old child who was successfully recovered. The stolen vehicle was recovered as well, along with the apprehension of a suspect, and no one was harmed. So it was a very trying time, I think, for the residents of the city and our law enforcement here, but they handled it with great professionalism and coordinated very well with other jurisdictions and resources that were available to us. So we're thankful for that. With regard to recreation, we got some good news on Friday. Our recreation director applied for and we received a We Thrive Community Resilience Mini Grant in the amount of $12,385. So very exciting. That will help us further our efforts in rec and helping us to implement an online program to better manage some of our activities there, and I think it will provide a more streamlined and efficient service to our residents and cut down some of the staff time here. So we are very, very pleased that Ms. Clear was able to not only apply for the grant, but we were successful in getting that. So that is wonderful news. And also today, we had our website relaunch, which I took a quick peek at it right before this meeting. It looks beautiful. If you haven't had a chance to do that, please get on our website and take a look. We got a couple little things to tweak, but that goes without saying with any kind of website or online relaunch. So that looks good, and we will continue to populate that with the most recent information that we have. And finally, I understand the long-awaited street sweeper calendar we have a draft of, which I just got about an hour ago. So I will take a look at that and send it to you tonight or in the morning so you can take a look at that. And we'll be happy to take any questions or comments after you've had a chance to review that. And with that, I will conclude my report.
That's awesome.
Mrs. Manager,
Jennifer would be
Jennifer,
fine.
just had a question. Most of us on council work full-time, and I just saw your email about the training. There's no times listed for the training, so are we supposed to call the person listed there to get the times?
It is 11:30 to 1:30, so it's over a lunch hour, but that's an extended lunch hour. So if you're constrained by an hour-long lunch, it's going to be difficult. However, I believe they will be recording it, so we're going to sign up internally for staff. So if you're not able to make it, I should have a recorded link that I can send you later.
Okay, so you're saying it's like two hours during the lunch hour?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, thank you.
I have one other update. Chief Schran had asked me to reach out to, I know that this is historical information. We had an artist that proposed to council to do some alley painting. Council has already passed I can't remember if it was just a motion. Does anyone remember? Was it just a motion, or did we have
We have money set aside for it in our
I know,
budget
but
this year.
was there a piece of legislation, or was it just a motion
I
that we
believe it was a
approved?
motion requesting administration to enter into a contract with Monty Jones.
Okay. So I was successful reaching out to them. If I could just forward that email to you, and if you have any other questions, we can
Okay.
circle the wagons on that one.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions for anyone? All right, next up, we have the law director.
Madam President, just briefly, I heard Ms. Underwood indicate that you all reviewed the FOP collective bargaining agreement, or you had it available. I just wanted to make clear, if it wasn't clear, that we pretty much just did a financial settlement there. We didn't touch, there were a couple little typos or kind of housekeeping things I would refer to, but there was no material changes whatsoever in the actual body of the contract worth noting. So just as a little heads up, if the financial part was the only part, everything else had already been in place. But other than that, unless there's any questions, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, the finance director is not here, so we'll move past that. Next, we have call of members. Ms. Dukes-Dean.
I don't have anything. Just hello, everybody. That's it.
Ms. DeWald.
I just wanted to say I'm glad that we officially brought Miss Jennifer Ike into our little group here. Much needed and welcome.
Ms. Underwood.
Thank you, Madam President. I too am very happy to see Ms. Ike here. Welcome again. Looking forward to working with you. That's all I have.
I'm going to say thank you. You're here a week, and we already have a street sweeper schedule. It's like a miracle already. That's awesome. Yeah. Thanks. Again, welcome. Thank you. That's all I have. Ms. Alexander?
I'd like to welcome Ms. Ike as well. You seem like you're jumping right in, have your report robust, giving us information, reminding me to check my box. So, welcome.
Hi, this is going to be my Prospect Place issue for the probably 8th time. We need to remember to get the air conditioning fixed for the council chambers. It was so hot in here last year that we had to move over to the center for the blind for going on 4 months. So AC, please.
Ms. Anderson?
Thank you. Sorry. I wasn't sure if you want me to start yet or not. Well, happy Women's History Month, everybody. As a woman,
Absolutely.
as a woman-filled council with a woman city manager and a woman mayor and woman directors and rec and in finance, I think that's pretty amazing. So, congratulations to us for making history and for having a special month named after us. Other than that, I want to welcome you, Ms. Ike. I'm excited to work for you for only about a month more. I just turned in my resignation letter today, so. And I really wish I could stay, but unfortunately I gotta move. I can't drive 45 minutes to work every day anymore. So I will be back though, so don't worry. As long as you stay here for a couple more years, you will see me again. So, but thank you and welcome.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. And next up, we have remarks from the audience. Sir.
Thank you, Madam President. We do have one resident signed in, or two residents signed in. Rashonda Joyner. Yes. Yeah,
Yep,
you want to
please
go to the podium?
Please state your name and address.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Awesome. Hello, everyone. I feel kind of short. I'm Rashonda Joyner, and I live at 1625 West Belmore Place. Excuse me if I get a little emotional. So at 1625 West Belmore Place, I've owned the home for about 3 years. So a little background. I fell in love with the home as soon as I found the home. and moved me. It's a two-family. My mom and my sister, my nephew, they stay upstairs, and I stay downstairs. And every year for the past 3 years, me and my family have had flooding from a storm drain located in, I think that's 1623, the house before us. That floods our backyard and enters our basement. And on Friday, March 3rd, that water entered our basement, probably up to my hip. Last time, it was probably taller than me, and I'm, 5 foot? And now we don't have any water. We don't have any furnaces. And this is the 3rd time every year. And I've been up, I haven't been to a meeting like this before. I didn't know you guys had these, but I've been trying to get something done to that storm drain for 3 years. And I'm just begging for something.
Absolutely.
I really am. I don't know who can do something. So I sent the email to everybody. I'm pretty sure everybody got the email and the pictures and the videos. And I'm sorry I send it to you every day until something happened. Because like I said, it happens every year. And we come out of pocket and we fix the water heaters and we fix our furnaces and we get them back up and running. And then boom, it happens again the next year. I don't know how anyone can live like that. I don't know how anyone wants to live like that.
Exactly.
So I'm begging.
Madam President,
I really.
Mr. Ewald.
if I recall, several years ago, there was a huge issue on that street, correct? Didn't it cave in? And it was due to, and then it was due to one of the houses on the street that may or may not be in this one picture that I'm looking at.
I'm not sure of the pictures, but it's a house across the street where they say.
Across the street? 'Cause this
That's
one.
our backyard.
No, back here.
That's somebody's backyard.
Right, I know the flooded area is you.
Yeah.
But the house you're pointing to, that's not a house. That's just a shed. I'm sorry.
Well, that's okay, no, that's okay, because I think there's other issues here that need to be addressed. So,
The house that you're pertaining to is across the street. from us.
yes,
And they say it's a broken pipe underneath this house. So they started fixing the pipe that was in the street, but for some reason they stopped working on it.
so we don't know why they stopped. And was it our Public Works, or was it
The guy, what's his name?
Bradley?
He
Braden?
said it was. He said they started working on it and they stopped working on it.
Well, Ms. Ike, this is definitely an issue. Ike, sorry. Jennifer?
I'll get with Braden tomorrow and we'll take a look at this. I'll need to understand the history and what's been done and what the issues are, but we'll certainly take a look into this.
This is horrible.
Thank you so much for coming forward
Is
with
there any
this.
way, oh, well, I thought you guys were already aware of this. I know the previous administrator was aware in the previous Public Works, that was head of Public Works, Marty, he was aware of it, but this was this was last year and the year before that. But is there any way we could all have a meeting, me, you, and Brayton? Sure. Okay. Because I want to be a part of the whole process.
Madam
Because what I was aware of from what I was told on Friday is that this was already a discussion between you and him and that a budget was set in place and he just needed a week to get it approved. So I don't even know if we have a week because just 2 weeks ago it rained pretty bad and fortunately it stopped. So it didn't back up as bad as it could have. And then now we're 2 weeks later, March 3rd, and we're without.
Well, I am 1 week on the job.
I
so
know. I'm sorry.
let me figure out what we know about the issue, what's been done,
Mhm.
and then we can sit down and talk about how we go forward.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I'm
Thank
so
you for
sorry you're
coming.
going through this.
Excuse me, Ms. Joyner, what would be the best vehicle for Ms. Ike to get in touch with you? This email address? I just want to make sure she has your contact information. That's what I,
I'm sorry, Ms. Joyner. Did it go, I tried to, honestly, I tried to ride past Saturday. Which, are you on the, if I come up Meese, are you on the right side? You're on the right side. Was it like, did you put like, was it some cushions out there?
No, it's the house before that.
Before that one, okay, because I couldn't, no, maybe the water had resided. It was like 12:30. Yeah, because you didn't send it till Saturday morning, correct? Okay, so after I got it, I was like, I rolled past, but I didn't see the water, and I'm like, I'm not sure which house she's talking about. I rode past there 2 years ago, and it was the same thing, but I believe that part of the issue is the house across the street. Like you said, it's the house across the street. Is that initially where the issue started?
Yes, from what I'm aware of, there's a collapsed pipe.
Under his property, under his property.
From what I'm aware of, the previous administrator attempted to buy the home from the person to tear it down to get to that pipe, but they wouldn't sell it.
They wouldn't sell it, right? Okay. Thank you.
Madam President.
Ms. Stewart.
Ms. Joyner, is that property that you referred to, is that still occupied? Thank you.
This might be a case for Mr. Dieters. All right, has anyone else signed in, Mr. Edger?
Yes, Madam President, we have a Dante Foster.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
So, I'm going to be here for about 6 or 7 hours. I just want everybody to know I'm just joking. All right, why I come here today, I should have done this 15, 16, 18 years ago, but we've been our property on 1610 Goodman. It's been roughly 20 years now, maybe about 18 years. The property, when I purchased it, there's an alley behind my house. It's a dead alley or abandoned alley. Talked to Marty years ago. It's the abandoned alley. It stops at my house. The alley, which I've gravel, taken care of, bushes, everything. I've maintained it for 20 years. Well, now I'm to the point where, hey, I want a new garage and I want to use that space. But the alley doesn't belong to me. So I called Hamilton County. They gave me one of their Hamilton County codes saying I've taken care of the property, maintained it for all these years. It would be no problem, but I have to come to the city because we have to figure out who owns the property, which they say it's the city. And we need to, some kind of way, get me or us as the owner of that alley. I can show you the pictures from the auditor site. It's really a dead alley. The city's not going to use this for anything. Actually, I'll show you the pictures. But this is the alley here. Of course, where I'm on North College Hills.
Madam President.
Ms. Anderson?
I'm sorry, would you mind repeating that address again? I'm just going to look it up on
1610.
1610.
1610. Thank you.
And of course, I think I might have just lost the internet because it was just here a second ago. But I'm on the Hamilton County Auditor's website. And basically, I just went to my address, and it brings up a great picture.
Yeah.
A great picture of my property. I promise it was only supposed to be a half a second. I had it, okay, here we go. It was here. Oh, for some reason, your internet won't allow me to. For some reason, I'm down.
Okay.
So I can't do it. I've got a picture here, but the picture is kind of rough. But basically, this is my property line. This is the alley. So Marty called this a shared alley because once you go down, there's the neighbor behind me, there's mine, but it stops here. It's just woods. There's nothing. The alley's dead at my house.
Is this the part that you're hoping to obtain?
Yes.
Can I
It's-
circle this as I pass it around?
Yes.
Okay.
Please. It's roughly, the alley's roughly about 12 feet long. From my property to the end of my property, it may be about 50, 75 feet. I'm sorry. The property, what I'm looking for in the alley is about 12, 15 feet wide. From my property to my property, it's about 50, 75 feet. It's basically what I've been using for the last 20 years. It's all maintained, but again, it's just time for a new garage. I want a 2-car garage, and I don't want to turn into my garage. I just want to drive into my garage. And that's
Understood.
why I'm here.
Mr. Diers, can you?
Yes, Madam President, what I would suggest, and I'm sorry, sir, I didn't catch your name when you
Foster.
said Mr. Foster. I would suggest that Mr. Foster, get with Jennifer, take a look at it. Typically in these situations, we'll check with police and fire to make sure that there's no emergency access needed to the alley. If it's a dead alley, then what we can do is if it's in the city doesn't need it, then we vacate it. So basically then you would own half of it, and then the people on the other side would own the other half. And you'd have to make sure that was still enough room for you to.
Well, once you see the picture, you'll see
Yeah.
the other property it's a fence there. So she
Okay.
has her part, so I'm just basically taking care of my part. But the
Yeah.
picture,
It's going around.
Just so you understand, though, you would
Yeah.
only own to the center line of the alley, and then the other property owner would own to the other center line. So you'd have to still make sure that was enough room for you to ingress and egress out of your garage. Because if we vacate the alley, that's how that works.
Okay, I'll have to show it to you. I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, well, now's not probably the right time. Just get with Miss Iki,
Yeah,
and
okay.
then you guys can look at it.
Yeah,
and we can look at it.
Okay, yeah, because I've already got the other neighbor. The other neighbor's okay with it. So we'll
I
get
just
it.
want to make it clear.
Yeah, I got you.
That when we vacate it,
You
it
do
goes
half.
half and half. So we vacate it, and then both sides own it. So you'd have to, if you were going to use that portion of it, you'd have to talk with your neighbor, not us.
All right,
Does that
but
make
this
it
is
clear?
it's a little different. It's a little different. So we'll have to talk about it because I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
But it's a little different because I guess that's the other part of it. The rest of the alley is just woods and grass. So basically, we run our mowers over it. We take care of it. And talking to Mr. Knight, he was like, "Hey, talk to your neighbors. You guys just take the whole alley." And I was going, "No, I just want the little piece in front of my garage." So I'll call up and tomorrow I'll talk.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and if I can say, I watch every meeting.
Ooh.
Every single one they record. And I just
Things
want
over there at the school board.
Yeah. But yeah, I watch every one, and I just want to thank everyone for doing everything. You guys are here a lot. And I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Foster.
Do you need this back?
No, and I wish I would have. I couldn't get a better picture. I tried to take it from the school.
It just goes in his notes.
For some reason, your internet won't.
All right. Mr. Hedger, has anyone else signed in?
No, Madam President.
All right, then we shall move on to legislation. Mr. Hedger?
Thank you, Madam President. First reading, resolution number 6, a resolution to authorize the city administrator to execute a collective bargaining agreement between the city of North College Hill and the Fraternal Order of Police, Ohio Labor Council Incorporated.
Next up.
First reading, resolution number 7, 2023, a resolution authorizing the city administrator to enter into an agreement for retail electricity with a competitive retail electric service provider through the Center for Local Government and Electricity Consortium.
Madam President,
Ms. Dewald.
I believe this is the legislation that has some urgency to it. It's dealing with the local government, and I believe Ms. Jennifer is going to be meeting with them next week. I propose to suspend the second and third reading.
Madam President,
Sanderson?
this is for resolution number 7, correct?
It is.
I will second that.
Mr. Hedger, we have a motion on the floor by Ms. Dewald and a second by Ms. Anderson to suspend the second and third reading of Resolution 7, 2023.
Madam President.
Discussion?
Yes.
We'll have discussion. Do you want discussion now at the suspension part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Two questions. I don't know how you all did me coming in late, so I don't know if I'm supposed to vote or not.
We did not excuse you because we spoke to Mr. Dieters and he said if we excuse you, then you couldn't vote. So we did not excuse you so that you can vote.
Okay. And then the other question is, what is this exactly?
Madam President, I might be able to, I just found out about this today, but we purchased through a consortium our power, and so we get a discount. And so this just maintains our current discount we get through our consortium. That's all it does. So Council of Local Governments contracts with a power broker, and then we get a little bit of a discount on our power, our electricity, and our gas that we use as the city. So it's just our use, not any of our residents' use, just the city's use of electric and gas. And it doesn't change anything that we're currently doing. My understanding is it allows us to continue to participate in the plan that we're already in.
So in other words, could this be considered a renewal?
That would be a good way to put it, Madam President. Yes, renewal.
Thank you. Are there any other questions from council?
Is it timely? Oh, Madam President. Is this timely? Do we need to do this quickly?
It is.
Okay.
Mr. Hedger, please call the roll on the suspension.
Dukestein,
Yes.
DeWalm,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorm,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
Madam President,
Stewart?
I make a motion to adopt Resolution 7, 2023.
Madam President,
Ms. Underwood?
I'll second that.
Mr. Hedger, we have a motion on the floor from Ms. Dewald and a second from Ms. Underwood to adopt Resolution 7, 2023. Could you please call the roll?
Dukestein,
Yes.
DeWalm,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorm,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
Thank you, Mr. Hedger.
First-
Madam President,
Ms. Anderson?
sorry, I know that we suspended the readings. We didn't vote on it, though. So I'll motion to approve resolution number 7, 2023.
We just did that.
We just suspended the readings.
We gave back.
We've already
No.
voted
And
twice.
then we did it.
Okay, I'm so sorry. I thought we were suspending the readings, but either way, I would have voted yes. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries, no worries. All right, Mr. Hedger, what do we have next?
First reading, Resolution number 8, 2023, a resolution authorizing participation in the ODOT road salt contracts awarded in 2023.
Double tap to activate. Double tap and hold for long breath. Double tap to activate. Back off.
All right, and it looks as though we have until April 22nd to get this passed, so we have time on that one. So next on our agenda is further remarks from the audience. How about old business?
Madam President, I had a question about our paperwork tonight. Do we disregard this one from last week and keep this one?
I believe they are both the same, that we'd made no changes.
One feels thicker than the other.
Madam
One's
President,
probably double-sided and one is not.
Okay, so it's the same contract?
They should be the same
Okay,
exact version.
Okay, all right,
Madam-
thank you.
Multiple trees.
Madam President, Mr. Dieters, did you referred to this document, you said the clerical errors remained the same, we don't have to worry about changing those, or was that changed?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question.
The clerical errors. there were
Typos.
Typos.
I don't, what I do know is that typos that were found by our side and their side at the time that we negotiated have been changed, but I don't know
Okay.
if there's other typos that you found. I can't tell if they were or not.
I wasn't clear on what you were saying, so I just wanted to
so
clarify.
typically what happens when you do collective bargaining negotiations, sometimes there's what we typically in the industry call housekeeping.
Mhm.
The date's changed, the date's not applicable anymore. Maybe there was something in the contract that you don't do anymore because it's been replaced by something else. So the only changes in language that were made to the contract were more along the lines of those kind of things that have no material effect. Anything that has anything regarding operations or management had stayed the same since the previous agreement.
Thank you.
Madam President,
Ms. Alexander.
I just wanted to remind council to complete their Ohio ethics filing by May 15th. I completed mine, so I checked that off my list and make sure everyone else stays on their task.
Madam President, I also
Blythe.
finished my sunshine law training around December 15th per Mrs. Dukes Dean that it was required. Is that a yearly thing?
Madam President,
Yes, Ms. 16.
I don't, we only have to complete it once per term. So if you've are in your term and you've completed it, then you're fine.
And I'm good. Okay, great. Thank you.
Madam President.
Ms. 16.
So in our packet, we received the information about Belmar. And it looks like I was on the email. Did everyone get that? Because I didn't get that. I'm just trying to make sure that nothing's going on with my email.
Let me check, because I know I got the other one, but.
Madam President?
Ms. Dewald.
I don't recall getting that email, but Mr. Hedger provided us with a paper copy of it.
Sure, but I'm on the email that's in the paperwork. I just wondered what happened to it because I was looking for it. I'll figure it out, but I just wanted to see if you all got it.
Well, I did not look at the email list. I know there was another group email that someone thought they were sending to all of council, and my email address was incorrect. Did you check it?
I did, and mine is correct, but I didn't get it.
I got it. I see it for Saturday. It looks like it came Saturday.
Yeah, see, mine's wrong.
I don't have it.
My email address is wrong on this email, which would explain why I didn't get it.
Oh, mine is too. You're right. It's missing an E.
Yep. Mine's missing a J.
Okay.
Mario.
No, it's just M Zorb instead of MJ Zorb. All right, any other questions, remarks on old business? Anything from new business? I do, if no one else does, so I'm gonna take a little moment. I would like to make a motion that council would approve a $2,000 spending limit for the Christmas tree to Leicester Tree Health Professionals. And I would like that money to be spent out of line item. It's the recreation line item for operating expenses. It is line item 301.101.524200.
Madam President,
Ms. Dewald.
I'll second that motion.
Madam President, can you repeat the company that you listed?
Yes, I can give you a copy of this too if you'd like. It is Leicester, Lester, Tree Health Professionals. Are you caught up? All right. Mr. Hedger, we have a motion on the floor to approve the spending of $2,000. First, the motion was made by myself, Ms. Zorb, second by Ms. Dewald. Could you please call the roll?
Dukestein,
Yes.
DeWalm,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorb,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
Thank you. Any other new business?
Madam Chair.
Madam,
Madam President. I just wanted to, circle back with that. You were supposed to bring that back to, and I'm fine with it. I just wanted to make sure, weren't you supposed to bring that back to Budget and Finance so that we could, take a look at the actual company? Wasn't that what we said with that one? Because we were looking up the prices. I remember we looked up, and I brought it up on, screen here. You didn't do discussion, or else I would have done it at that time.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I'm failing on the discussion
No,
part.
it's
My
fine.
bad.
But I thought you were bringing that back, because you couldn't find that, what's in your hand
Now.
currently. Either way, it's fine. I just I was retracing my steps back in my head, like, that didn't come back through finance, but, okay.
Part of the reason why it didn't come back through, it was, and not saying that I did that intentionally, because I don't remember
it's
that was
fine.
part of it. But I know there is a time crunch on this, because we heard from the arborist that this has to get planted. And I'm looking for Ms. Williams to chime in here. I think it has to get planted within the next, month, or the tree has a slim chance of surviving. They need it in the ground right away.
And to follow up, because I remember we were also talking about, it was like between 10 and 15 feet, right?
10 to 12 feet.
Okay.
10 to 12-foot Norwood spruce.
Got it, okay.
And there's a transplant shock reducer, the certified arborist install, 1-year warranty. There's aftercare, 1 nutrient root hydration to start new growth for spring, filling water bag to keep it watered throughout the season, and then hardwood black mulch and a ring during installation.
Okay, because that was the other thing, it was the contract terms, but I respectfully, that's fine, I just wanted to kind of remember what we had talked about, just because I didn't remember.
Okay, thank you, I apologize for that.
No, you're fine.
Madam President,
May-
can you refresh my memory on how far from the sign it'll be?
That was the other thing.
Because I don't want them to disturb the tree when they put in the digital sign.
Actually, when the tree committee met, we went on a little field trip. And we took pictures of where we think the tree, and there's not gonna be any visibility of the sign issues. I was surprised by how big that spot of land is out
I just
out
don't want
front.
when they start tearing up the ground for the sign to disturb the tree. Because you just said, the probabilities, if it's not planted by a certain date, then it could possibly die. When I say I don't want them to disturb the tree, meaning I don't want them to, hit a root or something. That's why I'm trying to see how
So
far from the sign.
There
it'll be.
was a presumption on our part that the new sign is going close to where the existing sign is. Is that a safe assumption?
That was the assumption that I was under as
Then we're all good.
well. Okay.
Unless they're really, really bad drivers, we're good.
That happens as well, so.
Yes. All right, anything else?
Madam President,
Ms. Dewald,
I make a motion to adjourn.
Madam President,
Ms. Anderson,
I'll second that.
Mr. Hedger, we have a motion from Ms. Dewald and a second from Ms. Anderson to adjourn tonight's meeting. Could you please take the roll?
Dukestein,
Yes.
DeWalm,
Yes.
Underwood,
Yes.
Zorb,
Yes.
Alexander,
Yes.
Blythe,
Yes.
Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passed, 7-0.
Meeting is over. It is 7:55.